Generic greetings and welcome back once again to Railroads. Today's beverage is a highly carbonated lemon and lime soda. So welcome back to the game, and previously on single player naturally we were ironically on a custom / multiplayer map on Rivers Run and doing the hydrophobic challenge. The idea was not to build any bridges or trestles or go across the water in any way, shape or form and sort of have to scoot around all of these sort of inlets and such, and we did manage to do that, and it was quite successful and quite fun because we bought out someone very early on, which is often quite difficult. Either way, this challenge is going to be I was going to say a bit different, but it's going to be a lot different. In fact, I think it's going to be the most challenging, and I'm going to get my excuses out early. I think it's impossible. I think actually this one is going far beyond the realms of being sensible, although there's a lot of that going around these days. Either way, the idea is to try to win the game by not buying any trains, and for a game that is all about building a railroad and laying track and carrying things from one place to another, having none of that is, as I said, I think absolute insanity. However, sometimes we just have to try these things, and the fun is in finding out. Either way, the idea is, as I said, to try and win the game by not buying any trains, and the only real way to do that is to use the AI, and what I mean by that is to see what they're carrying and put our investment into that industry. So a couple of things before we really get into it. Firstly, we want a map that is going to have a lot of cities, so it has a lot of industries, so we'll have to have a look through these ones, and also have it quite topographical, so the AI has to spend a lot of money on bridges and tunnels and that sort of thing, although I'm not actually sure how the game simulates the whole sort of money thing for the AI. I don't know if it's like a pseudo simulation or actually just genuinely has the same like monetary value that we have. I'm really not sure. Either way, I'm going to scoot through it, and looking at the maps, there's several contenders, so I'm going to rule out things like Great Britain because you've only really got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe 6 sort of big cities. France is the biggest map, but it's also obviously quite, it's quite small amounts of things that we can sort of go between. So yeah, I don't really know about that one. Germany, similar sort of thing. Island hopping, we could probably go on that. You got 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 big areas, so again, not that. I did consider the Mesa Madness because it's got a huge amount of these sort of big spires and such, and obviously the AI is going to have to go around though, but I'm not entirely sure how it works. But basically, I'm going to go with gut feeling on this one. As I said, I've already resigned myself to the fact that I'm probably going to fail this one, so I'm not really too concerned. I'm going to go with the Northwest US because it has basically, well, a lot of areas that hopefully will have industry, and it's got some sort of quite big rivers and such. So we're going to go with that one. Investor difficulty medium routing. Again, it would probably be better if I go with hard routing and then the AI has to work harder, but then that would be giving us an unfair advantage. Maybe we should have that, actually. But anyway, let's just go OK and crack on from there. So it's 1830 and the United States has barely begun its epic journey down the tracks of railroad history. Okay, so we are in Harrisburg to the northwest here. Let's have a quick look around. So I can't build... I was going to say I can't build any track, but the game doesn't actually start. So I can go to max speed here, and you can see it says January 1830. The game's not going to do anything until we place the first bit of track, which is something that sort of I've either learnt now or relearned. Basically, yeah, it gives you the opportunity to scoot around and see where things are before you start building. Baltimore, we have in who have we got actually? We've got Jay Gould, we've got Jay Cook, and we've got J. Pierpont Morgan. Lots of J's around here. And yes, as I said, in Baltimore we have J. Pierpont Morgan. Let's have a quick look around. In Dover, not the one I'm familiar with, it's Jay Cook. Aberdeen again, the one I've not visited. And Wilmington, let's scoot over to the right here. Lots of oil and gas there, which is hopefully handy. In fact, let me just double check that one. Yes, there is some power plants around here. That's what we're looking for because we're going to obviously buy the industry. And then in Trenton, we have Jay Gould. Okay, so We have found all three. There's New York, currently not under siege by some super villains, which is off the case. Let's have a quick look then. So, Harrisburg, this is where we are, and it would be great if I could actually start to bring stuff over here, because there is a relatively close grain mill, a couple of relatively close ones actually. If we have a look, yeah, there's one over there, there's 1, 2, 3, actually a couple of them are a bit far away. Anyway, I digress. Let me go ahead and go for some track, and I'm going to go with that. And the reason for that is, like I said, the game doesn't start. You can see it's now starting to count down now until we place something. So you can sit there all day, all night long, and it won't do anything until you build the first little bit of track. So the AI will not heat up until you've done something. So I'm just going to quickly look around and see what the AI is up to. I wonder if it's just going to sit there. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to buy some of my stocks. Already, I am ahead of the AI because I'm valued at nearly 2 million. So, you know, go us. But I do need some capital in order to buy things like a paper mill and that sort of thing. It's currently September 1830. Mayor of Reading solicits railway. Let's see, October 1831, November, December, January, February, just looking on the top right here, March, April. You probably know what a calendar is. I'm just trying to see if the AI is actually going to do anything. And oh wait, right. So pause. I just mashed space there, thinking it was pause, which is often the case for games. So what are they transporting? So they have this really wee little locomotive there, and they're carrying passengers and mail. Okay. That's not really helpful because we can't profit off that. Okay, let me just unpause it and see what the other AI is up to. We got another one over here which is going to Wilmington, and they are carrying 3 passengers. Okay, so the game's probably calculated, you know, that basically the pulling power of these locomotives are absolutely pathetic at this era, and not doing much in terms of industry. Let me have a quick look around. So yeah, we've checked over here, and then finally we got another one. It's just passengers and mail, isn't it? And that's what the game's putting down here. Okay, fine. So I'll let them crack on. And what is often the okay, they went over to Aberdeen. Let's see what they are transporting now. Oh wait, it's passengers and mail. What a surprise. Yeah, what is often the death sentence for this game is that you don't build. Like, the general rule for railroads is you keep building and you keep building until the game is finished. And what we're not doing? We're not doing any building, which is... Oh, there's the 420 Norris, but as we're not in the locomotive business, that doesn't really concern us. As I said, I think this is an absolutely hopeless challenge, but, you know, we have to attempt it. Yeah, and give it a go. Obviously, I'm waiting for things like the power plant to getting supplied with something that's a sort of main focus. Ah, wait, stop again, bashing space there. So, the stockyard is going to be supplied, hopefully, sooner rather than later. I'm feeling that because obviously they've sent over some track to that one, so I'm going to start buying that thing out. So it's 102,000 generic units of currency. Do you know what's just occurred to me as well? New speed record set. Okay, fine. Well, we're not in the locomotive business, so it doesn't really matter. It doesn't really bother. Doesn't really bother us at all. Anyway, yes. So what I'm thinking is that you've got the Statue of Liberty over there. When did France supply that? I'm not sure, but shouldn't there be the Washington Monument over here as well? Yeah, there it is there. Okay. Is this the game? Is this the map with the most monuments? There's 2. And yeah, I think that's actually the most. How strange. Anyway, I'm going to have a quick look at... Aha, right. So, again, going to pause it for a moment. I'm actually going to sell some shares because the food plant is being supplied over here. So, I'm going to have to start to get that. I'm already noticing that I am the lowest of all of the stocks in the game, which is not surprising in the slightest. But we've now bought out the Washington food plant. So again, I'm going to pause it here. So we now own 2 industries. In Aberdeen, they have nothing going over there. Well, this is quite an expansive network already for JP Point Morgan, but it's mainly just passengers and mail. What might be actually useful is if we go over to industries report and check out actually well, goods. Passengers and mail, fine. Livestock is J Gould. Grain, we've just bought that out. And coal, right, so coal is being transferred from somewhere. And that was, let me double check again, it was J Cook. So J, you are over here. And I'm guessing it is that power plant there. Yes, it is. Okay, so we will start to buy that out. So they're now carrying coal from the, yeah, well, through Dover, actually. Yeah, there you go. You can see there's three on the back. Yeah, 3 on the back there. That's fine. Okay. So we have now managed to get. Oh, wait, that's lumber as well. So guess what? They're going to be bringing some paper over there. Wow. JP Point Morgan just put 50 grand on that thing, and this is not even their business. Okay, fine. Let's just see. And I have now picked that up as well. So we are going to be getting money from a couple of industries. Let me double check. Steel mill's not doing anything. Newspapers not doing anything. Let me just pause it for a moment. So yeah, that's what we want to see. So we own the stockyard in New York, and they've went to both of the farms here, which is excellent. That's what we want to see. They do have, this is J Gould, and they went through Trenton and went all the way down to the lumber mill, and that means, yeah, they're going to be carrying some wood, which means I'm going to buy out of their paper mill. Okay, we will do an unpause and see if I can get this. Nope, I was going to say see if I can get it for default money, but it's not happening. And oh, looks they've also bought out. I'll put a depot in the Trenton Coal Company. So where would they be sending that to? Let me just pause it again. And where would they be sending that to? So they've put one there, and why have they double tracked here? Again, this is very different because I'm not focusing on my own business. Essentially, I'm looking at all of the AI, and oh, good grief! I've just realised they've 3 million on J Cook and JP Point Morgan. Okay, so if they were to send some supplies from here, it'd be in Newark or would be in Vineland. Okay, I think I'm just gonna have to keep an eye on their track. The way it's going, like that direction, like that indicates sort of that it might be heading over there, and that's exactly what's happened. Okay, so I'm going to buy out the steel mill. Again, I have no idea if the AI actually reacts to us buying this. So if we were playing in like multiplayer against other opponents, you know, if I went over there and someone bought that out, I would just go, huh, good for you. I would just default back to this area because they've just spent all the money on there, and I wouldn't send stuff to that location. But again, I don't know if that's how the AI even functions. So yeah. Anyway, we own that power plant. We own that paper mill. They've got coal going from there, and we also own that power plant, which is fine. Let me double check. And oh wait, hang on, let me pause it for a moment. Frederick has a supply now. Is anything going over there? Oh, I know we're on the food plant here, which is fine. It would be nice if they were to collect that food there. And so they're doubling down on the wood, and oh, that's interesting. So this is the Eastern MD Wood Company, and we have JP Point Morgan and J Cook going there, but there's no lumber mill over here. Let me just double check that. Can I click on that one? And yeah, there's no lumber mill. I don't even know why the AI has done that. Okay, interesting. Fine. Anyway, we are still at the bottom of the chart, which is to be expected, to be fair. Let me just double check. Oh yes, we've still got this, and oh, there's the 440 American. I wonder who made that. And I might as well sell some of my track here and delete track. Oh, you can't delete the first and only section of track that you have. What a surprise, because that would be a bit of a end game status for the game. Let's see, are they bringing anything over here? There is a furniture plant, and I don't know if they're taking any food or anything over there. I'm going to have to keep an eye on the trains that they are sending. But obviously the only money that we're making is... The only money we're making is by the sort of revenue from all of the industries that we've been buying out. Okay, let's just see, double checking over here. Oh, there's a steel plant, and that's actually making money as well. So we're going to buy that out, hopefully, with... oh no, geez, bored. Okay, right, I can put another cheeky bid on it, but I'm obviously checking our bank balance, and I'm basically having to liquidate our company. Oh, okay, that's getting expensive now. Okay, well, I'm going to have to sell and buy. Missed it. Okay, so we have managed to lose that one. Okay, fine. It's not even owned by the person who's running the stuff. Okay, fair enough. So yeah, I went to Newark here, and the AI's done exactly it's done exactly what I've said. It's now went to the other location. Clever girl. Okay, right. So it's instead of going over to the Newark steel mill, it's going over to here. So yes, I have actually wasted. That's 98,000. Oh, sorry, no, 96,000. That's really small text. Yeah, it's headed over there. Okay, fine. I'm going to buy out some of my own stock. I've just realised that Jake Gould is not doing well at all. Let me just pause it for a moment and have a quick look around to see if there's any other industries that we can get. So there's an automobile factory that's not doing anything. There is newspaper there. There is power plant that I own there. Got a paper mill. This stuff is getting sent. Not to where we need it though. There's a food plant, but it's not doing anything. Aberdeen, there's a power plant, nothing there. No newspapers, no power plant. And Washington. Okay, this map's quickly becoming a mail and passenger service game, which is not what we need because we can't buy those industries. There is a term for that, but we won't repeat it here about owning people. Let's see if we can go. Let's see if we can go to Aberdeen. Do I want to buy that power plant? No. There's something up here. There's Jay Gould making a speed record attempt. Right, okay. So what is the best course of action? I'm actually sort of glad that I haven't got that steel mill because they're only carrying 3 things there, but I think that's the case for pretty much everything. Okay, fine. We are on... can we buy out the rest of our stuff? No, we can't. Looks like they've just upgraded their platform there. Automobile factory is not doing anything. We are on September 1849. Just have another scoot around here, see what's up in Philly. There's a newspaper. Allentown, there is a steel mill, but that's not doing anything either. Again, just looking out for the trains and see what's going on. In Dover, we own that paper mill, and the revenue is good. And yeah, we actually are in profit on that one, which is very, very handy indeed. There's more passengers and mail. You can see now, because they've got slightly better locomotives, they're increasing the size of their trains. There's some food. Food, which is, yeah, again, our business over there. So that's fine. And yeah, I guess it's just a case of running around and continuing on with seeing what we can buy. Newspaper, it would be nice if we could get that going. It should be all good. Let's have a quick look at Jay Gould, who is currently getting bought out actually by looks like the JP Point Morgan. Look at the size. That's a big train. It's got all kinds of stuff going on there. It's got food going back and forward, which is good. Trenton, there is a food plant there, but nothing is getting sent. The wood's getting sent. And obviously, Vineham, we missed out on that there. And wait, Newark. Is Newark now making money? Yes, it is. In fact, look at that. The revenue's really good. Okay, that's starting to turn a profit now. Right, things are working out well. Let me buy some more stock, and keep an eye on things. Food plants there. I wonder if I'm thinking if I buy industry, like if I actually made with 500,000 some sort of industry, would the AI start to carry that? Again, that's a fairly interesting concept. Anyway, nothing there, nothing over here. Philly, we've not got anything there. And Wilmington, Dover, no. Aberdeen, the power plant, you'd think... Oh, wait, hang on, wait. I can see some coal going towards the power plant, so let's put a bid on this one. And Morgan's also jumped on it. Morgan seems to be our current rival, as it were. They are jumping on things. Oh, okay, this is getting very expensive very quickly. And there's the 260 Morgul. Again, not really anything to do with us because we're not in the railroad business, are we? We're in the buying industry business. I'm very surprised that no one went over here. The Frederick Drilling Company. You know what? I'm going to buy that power plant out. Eventually, the AI is going to have to send it. You know, its trains over there. And if we get it early, then it's going to help us out, although I'm very aware that I am being outbid faster than I can click the button. Okay. Looks like we're going to... No, we're not going to get it, and I can't afford that. I am going to have to... No, I can say I'm going to have to sell shares, but I don't. I've just gained some more money. Not too sure how, because we're not even playing the game. And there we go, we've got that. So... Baltimore is grown up to a metropolis. Metropolis. Anyway, that's fine. And Washington is good. I'm just going to Westinghouse Air Brakes patent. They can bid on that. And speaking of bidding on that, I've just realised that I am having my company bought out. Okay, we have Jay Gould with 10% of our company and also Jay Cook with another 10%. We own 50% of our company, which is not ideal for it being many, many years on since we started the game, but there you go. Again, a challenge that we have set ourselves. Let me just do a bit of a cheeky pause here and have a look around. So we do own the stockyard in New York. We own the paper mill in Trenton. We also own in Newark the steel mill, which is actually turning a decent profit now. We don't own the steel mill over in Vinland. It's definitely not Finland, though. And, the automobile factory. They've connected to the automobile factory. Now, that is interesting because they are going to be supplying it with, they're going to be supplying with ore. And this is where the money has to roll in. So, sell and start to buy this out. So, one of the most expensive... Okay, yeah, people are pretty confident they want to buy this thing out. Yeah, the AI knows what it's doing. Okay. One of the most expensive things in the game... do I really want to keep bidding on this? Well, I don't have a choice, because this is the only way I make money. So 334,000 generic units of currency to buy out that automobile company. I really didn't want to pay that amount of money, but yeah, it is what it is. Anyway, yes, one of the most expensive things in the game is automobiles, munitions, and I believe automobiles, munitions, and there was a third one. Gold in one of the other US maps. And yeah, well, if we're an automobile business, then I guess hopefully that'll see us good. This one has been a bit of a bust, this power plant here. Obviously bought out, so hopefully they're going to go to the drilling company, but they have not done that. What is surprising is that they've not encroached on my business. So we're in Harrisburg, obviously we've not done anything, and there's all these other businesses that nothing's happening. Okay, let me just pause it for a moment here, noting that in Reading we've got some connections here. So what could possibly be connected to that? We've got a furniture plant and we've got a stockyard, and well, I mean, they must have intentions of transporting stuff over there. Why would they build 3 platforms for something they're not bringing anything to? I have no idea. Furniture plant or stockyard. What is the most likely? Let's have a quick look. Click on the stockyard, and nothing around really. It's all to the north, and I can't even find there's that furniture plant. Furniture plant there. Yeah, I have no idea what the AI is doing on that one. Let me just go over here. I'll just unpause it and see what can happen. There's the New York Lumber Company, which nothing's getting sent over there. I'm still the lowest when it comes to valuations at 5.1 million. The next one is J on 7.5, and then 8.2 for J, and then nearly 10 for Morgan. Yeah, there's the end of that chat, I guess. Okay, fine. Do I want to buy out any other industry? Or do I want to? I could always buy. I could always create one. It's a very, very big gamble, however. If I was to create an industry over here with wood, where would the wood go to? There's wood there. There must be others. Bushfires incinerate local forests. Timber demand skyrockets. Okay. Massive gamble. Furniture plant. I've just bought a furniture plant out in New York, so this is buying our own industry. Costs $500,000 to do, and obviously I'm not profiting from this in any way, shape, or form because I'm not sending anything there. Atlantic City Automobile Factory. I will obviously buy this one out. It must be making money. There's a 46010 wheeler. Is it making any money? It is making money. Okay, so it looks like we're going to get it for 262, so that's all good. But obviously there's one over here which we own as well, which is not making any money whatsoever. Okay. That was a great investment, wasn't it? Okay. Aberdeen, got some empty lots there. We've got the newspaper, which ain't doing anything. We've got our power plant over here, which we bought, which they're not sending anything to. We have Harrisburg and... Oh, wait, is that our track? Oh, look at that. We've got a railroad track. That's good. I mean, I don't know what we do with it, obviously. But yes. Anyway, I do think, looking at the state of things, we're going to get bought out sooner rather than later, and this is going to be a bit of a failure, but we did state from the very beginning with my excuses that this is probably going to be the case anyway. We just have to attempt it. We have to attempt it. Newark, there's nothing there. New York, we've got Automobile Factory, got nothing going there. Let me have a scoot down the bottom here, and here we go. We're going to make some money. We'll zoom into Atlantic City, and money. There we go. And we're making money because obviously we own the car plant, and the problem is that although we own the car plant, we are not transporting the actual cars, which are probably about 50-odd thousand. Goods report. Automobiles, 51,000, yes, so yeah, it's great if you're in the transportation business. We are not in the logistic business, we are in the sitting and watching things move on business, and we're only valued at 7 million, and we only own 40% of our company. Yeah, that statement was said. Okay. To be fair though, Jay Gould's only worth 10 million, and they're actually transporting. They're playing the game. We're not bothering. Okay. There's nothing over here at York or Lancaster or anything there. Let's see. And they still haven't went over to that drilling company. That does surprise me. And there's also the mining company. You know, this power plant. It's free money. You know, you can take ore and you can take oil to it, and there's two things relatively close, and they're just not doing anything with it, which is very, very surprising. But then again, shall I start buying out some people's stock? I could start buying out people's stock, couldn't I? Who would we buy out though? Oh, they're over to the mineral company again. No newspaper. Power plant make no profit whatsoever. Nothing there. Over here we own that one, which is fine. Obviously we bought out the furniture plant and they've not done anything with it. Let me just go ahead and I'm going to buy out some Morgan stock. Mainly because I had nearly $1 million in the bank, and it's really the only one we can, you know, go for. Alright, fine. So 7.5, 10, 12 and 15. So it looks like Jay Cook has now dropped to third place. Jay on second. It doesn't surprise me, to be fair, because Jay's got basically no competition over here. Absolutely none whatsoever. So that's good. Oh wait, No, that's power plant, that's fine. I'm going to say, the oil tanks here, they are getting filled, and they are going from the Cape May Oil and Gas over to Wilmington. That's fine. Newspaper's still not doing nothing. We've got no steel mill opportunities. We've got like we've got this Scranton paper mill over here, and got also Scranton Farms as well. But again, nothing happening with it. Let me just double check over on the bottom left. Washington's all fine. Is there any other industries around here on the very bottom left? Nope, there's absolutely nothing. It's often the case with the edge ones, although that surprises me again. So Washington, I would just turn sort of 90 degrees, go straight across and start bringing stuff from the Eastern MD Grain Company, but, well, they ain't. But then again, we can't really criticise the AI doing what we're doing here. We're being the silly ones. I can, if I was so inclined, could I buy out a bit of J. Cook's stock? I probably can. The furniture plant and the stockyard is not doing anything in here. I'm sort of surprised on that one. The more that I'm processing this debacle, the more I'm thinking that is the AI programmed to react to what we're doing, and because we're not doing anything, it's sort of going is probably not the most descriptive term, but probably the most accurate. That steel mill's making so much money. I wish I managed to buy that one. But anyway, Atlantic City. Oh, look at that. That's probably the most profit we're making. 50 grand. That's really good. That was a yearly revenue of 50 grand. Brilliant. Okay. Let me just double check. Goods report. So there's no one doing manufactured goods or automobile. Sorry, automobiles has gone up and nobody's transporting it. There's no industry leaders. Please tell me that's a joke. What's the AI up to? Grain, wood, coal, oil. Yes, no paper. That surprises me. But there you go. And Western Gold Rush fuels passenger travel. That's not great for us because we're not doing any of that. We're not doing any travel. That's the whole point. There's a refinery, which, to be fair, again, if I was the AI, I would probably go up here to the York and then over to the Lancaster Oil Company. I wonder if they're bringing stuff over. They're not. The AI is just totally ignored this top left. Now, I wonder if it does seem to be centred around Harrisburg, which is where we started. Is that the case? Is it genuinely just avoiding all this area because that's where we are? It's a bit of an interesting one. It'd be nice to have a deep dive of how the AI in the game works. Now we are basically trying to exploit it. Newspaper, there's absolutely zero point in doing anything there. Same for the furniture plant and stockyard. Yeah, that's one of the most puzzling bits here. 1, 2, 3 platforms, and yet not a single thing has been transported over there, even though there is the goal to transport something there. Let me buy out some more of J. Cook's stock because we can. And steel mill, nothing's happening over there. Trenton. There is a food plant there, but where is the nearest thing for that? I think we have checked this, but I'm just going to double check. There's the food plant, and it's only over there. Scranton Mills, not too far away. But I think most of the food has been transported from New York. Not automobiles, though. That's not a thing. Okay. The fact that I'm valued at over 10 million is shocking. It's absolutely shocking. Right, okay. That still is a bit of an annoying one. The fact that we don't own that steel mill. Can't buy it out now after the fact. No, we can't. There we go. Looks like the Birkenshaw's Malleable Rails patent is being bid on and bought out. That's fine. I'm trying to think if there's any opportunity to buy out some industries or even make some new ones. I'm hesitant to do that because over here we've got the grain company, we've got the mining company, we've got the drilling company, and obviously I bought out the power plant here, and they've just not headed that way at all. Okay. Well, I think I'm going to sit on the money that we have until I get 1 million and buy out the remaining of J. Cook's stock. That would mean then I own 40% of my company, none of Jay Gould's company. Hopefully, if it ticks over 30% of Jay's, which is valued at now 17 million, and then Morgan I own a whopping 10%. Is the newspaper doing anything in Philly? Nope, absolutely not. Nobody likes reading, apparently. This me offended a lot of people, probably. And over to New York. Automobile factory is still not doing a thing. Okay. Just jumping around, obviously, all of these towns and cities. Let's just go over to our favourite place in the world, which is in Reading. Not a single thing is being transported there. Wow. Shocking. Anyway, let's go ahead and buy the rest of J. Cook's stock that is available. Okay, so all of the stock in the game has now been bought. That is free, so it's on the open market. So just to recap, I valued at nearly 13 million, which is still a shocking number considering that is our investment. That's the only rail we have. These passengers must be absolutely raging. They've been waiting there for... When did this start? Was it 1820? Yeah. There's been births and deaths on that platform, hasn't there? Okay. Right, moving on. Still nothing in Frederick, even though we own the power plant. Sorry, I digress. Yes, we're valued at 13.2 million. Next highest is J. Cook on 18.8. After that is... Oh, it's actually almost tied between J. Gould and Morgan. There's only about 500,000 separating the two. The big difference is that J. Pierpoint Morgan owns what appears to be 70% of J. Gould's company. Stock market's booming, investors optimistic, unemployment figures drop significantly. That's a very nebulous headline. I don't actually know what it means for the game, but there you are. Again, just going to have to scoot around and see what industries are being supplied. We have nearly 7 million. There's nothing over there. They've really not went to the periphery of the maps, have they? They really haven't sent anything over here. There's the New York Lumber Company. Obviously we bought out this furniture plant, we made it for factory fresh, and it's doing nothing, which is a little bit of a problem, but there we are. Over here we've got the Newark Beef Company. Hang on, what? No, I was going to say, so why would you not double track, triple track in New York? Actually, no, quadruple track, it's already got 3. Why would you not then transport stuff from there? Yes, it is weird. Let's delivery bonus from perishables. So I mean, there may be a case for bidding on that so that the AI doesn't get it. But is that really a wise decision? Well, this entire challenge isn't a wise decision anyway, so I don't know why we're talking about wise decisions. But yeah, they can have it for 170 grand. I really wish they would start transport stuff to this newspaper. It's a bit weird. And the fact that they've not come anywhere around here is... Well, it's interesting to me. I don't know why. I say there must be a thing for the AI about the amount of track that we place and encroaching on our territory. There must be something. Because otherwise, why would they not be over here? It doesn't make any sense. Unless I say it's actually programmed. But there you go. Steel mill, nothing. I mean, I could buy out. I could really buy out some. Maybe. Do I build a food plant? 500,000 in Allentown. And would they even go over to Scranton Mills? I'm not too sure they would. Truth be told. No. That steel mill's making massive profit, which is good to see. So it was a bit of a botched opportunity early on, but now it's going good. This steel mill here, profit is 470 million, 470 million? No. 470,000, which we didn't buy out. I think it was about, what was it, 200,000 that we missed out on it. But ours, that we bought out early, is in a profit of over $1 million. There's the 462 Pacific. I'm not sure what that is. Is that a locomotive? It might be. Like I say, I'm not really up on those things. We don't really deal with them. That automobile factory is doing absolutely nothing, which is a shame because we own it. Where is it? Dover? No, there's nothing going on there. That's a huge amount of ore being brought over to Baltimore. No, it's not. It must be going through it and over to. It must be going to Aberdeen. It has to be going to Aberdeen. Dover Minerals to Aberdeen. Yes, it even says in the name. Okay, fine. So we are valued at, looking at this now, nearly 17.5 million. And the next one is only 22, which is J. Cook, and we own a lot of their company, and we've got 2.5 million in the bank. So, I mean, I was going to say optimistic. That's not the case. It's rather a lack of pessimism, I think, than being optimistic. Whoa, hang on, wait. Ooh, let me pause it for a second. So, two things in quick succession there. Firstly, there is 12 paper in Dover, and newspaper readership quadruples. Where is the nearest newspaper? It is in Easton and Baltimore. Right. Let me keep an eye on this, because if something's going to happen, it's going to happen because of that. See this newspaper? It's now valued at 180,000. This steel mill over here has been bid on, but it is making money. All right. Well, let's make sure we own it then. J. Cook, no. If I can get it for under $250,000, that would be splendid. 215, not bad. Not bad at all. Okay, that newspaper's not doing anything still. I'm just going to keep it, like I say, keep an eye on this number here, this 12 for paper. If that goes for anything less, we know that they're starting to transport it somewhere, and we need to buy out the thing that it's being transported to. So, yeah, there's that. Okay. Wilmington, nothing going on there. Dover, still looking at that number. I mean, we could be here for days, really. Parsons steam turbine patent, one of my most favourite ones, if I was to have a favourite patent, you understand. Don't tell the others. But, yeah, the freight pulling power is good for that one. Food plant's still making nothing. Yes, that's it, AI. Keep bidding on each other's and outbidding each other. That Cape May automobile plant. Yeah, profit. Not so much. Nothing. Okay. Automobile factory. Nothing. Furniture plant that I bought. Nothing. Rags to riches tale for a railroad entrepreneur. City faces rag shortage. Will be tycoon trying to emulate. What was that all about? That's normally a victory condition. That's us. Create an economic empire by attaining a net worth of 20 million. Just a quick look at that. Absolutely ridiculous. Fun's being had though, and that's all you can hope for in life, I guess. At times. Anyway, do I want to... I've got the power plant here. I was going to say, do I want to build anything in Frederick? What's the point? I've bought the power plant. They still haven't went about 30 feet up a hill. 282 Mercado. Yeah, they haven't even went over here. That would make so much money. Honestly, it's taking all my willpower not to just go, right, and just go and start building and from Harrisburg and just expand. With the 4.5 million that we've got, we could probably clean up. Oh, end of the line for Jay Gould, right. Looks like the tower's starting to fall. And that's not good for me. So Jay Gould, over here, his vast network has been bought out by J. Pierpoint Morgan, who is now valued at twice the amount that we are. 41,000, there it ticks over, and we're 21,000. Okay. So basically, how much do they own of us? They own 30%. This is J. Pierpoint Morgan. They own 30% of our business. But you have to think they've got vast resources. That newspaper's not doing anything, and it still says 12 over in Dover. How wonderful. Yeah. Read My Lips says, Prez promises tax cuts. Extra cash drives demand for manufactured goods. Well, that'd be great if people can start transporting stuff to this furniture plant in New York, which is literally, there is the supply. The New York Lumber Company. Alright. Maybe I should have upped the AI. I don't know. I don't know if it's been hindered by a setting, or whether it's just a game that is... Hang on, when did this game come out? Oh wait, I'm old. Yeah, a long time ago. It's probably just the age of the game. Anyway, can't buy. Well, I can buy the newspaper in Baltimore. Wouldn't make any difference. No point in doing anything in Frederick, as we've discussed previously, because nothing goes over there. Dover is still hoarding the fire hazardous 12 paper. Wilmington is... I actually don't know anything about Wilmington. It's doing passengers and mail, and there is a power plant there. Profit is 250,000, so it's actually not terrible. New speed record, 48 miles per hour near Frederick Junction. It is December 1916. No, it's February of 1916. Okay. I wonder what the speed record for a locomotive was at this stage. As we all know, in 1885, it was Doc Brown and Marty that set the speed record for 88 miles an hour, which is written in the annals of history. 6.5 million. Okay, and that automobile factory's still doing nothing. I mean, it is just a case now of scooting around again and seeing what can be bought. Like I said, it feels a bit like a magic bubble around where we started, where the AI is just not encroaching on it. Shall I do a test? Shall I build a track to York? Click. So I've built some track. Will that make the AI react to that? I have no idea, and that's why we are finding this out. Not that anyone is currently watching. I'm very tempted to buy... No, we've talked about this before. The food plant. Food plant would be brilliant if we were transporting actual stuff. The Scranton Mills and Scranton Farms, both of which are near Allentown. We could build new businesses. That probably wouldn't help us out. Okay. New technology makes farming a cakewalk. Grain prices on the rise. Good. We've got a bit in grain, haven't we? I mean, not transporting stuff to it, just, actually owning the businesses. JP Point Morgan is on 100%, and food, they're on 58%. What is surprising is how much J Cook is still in the running. Okay. Well, strangely, and it is, I do use that term, I think, accurately. We're on 8 million. We can see 8 million in the bank, as denoted by the numbers. We're valued at 20, let's call it 26. J Cook's on 29. But it only takes 20 to buy out both of them. Like, to buy the rest of my company, it's 20. Aberdeen is now grown to a metropolis. Yes, it has. Yeah, 21 for us, and pretty much the same for J. Is, unintentional rhyme, is J the play? Do I actually want to buy them out first and liquidate their assets? I think it's academic. I think JP Point Morgan's gonna get it. But the fact that we've survived this long, P5A class, that is a freight locomotive. It's electric. Okay. It's when is it? It's March 1925. When is the? Let's check the victory screen. Actually, when does the game end? 1970. I wonder if that is going to tick over. Expand your financial horizons by purchasing 50% stake in the railroad. You own 30% of J Cook. 4 years remaining. Poland's Palace Car Patent. That's an interesting one. That's a way to win. By the way, I'm going to delete this section track because it's obviously not done anything with the AI and we might as well get the money back. I don't think we're going to get that. One of the ways to win is obviously by doing these victory conditions. The person with the most victory conditions will win if you're just not bought out. If we can... Steel mill... purchasing a steel mill in New York, we can do that. And shipping carloads of... No, okay, there's the end of that. Because we can't ship anything. I can definitely get half the way there. Honestly, what I'm contemplating is selling some shares. If I sell my shares, though, to gain money to then try and buy out J Cook, who's going to bid on mine? And with 2 years remaining, is that possible? Don't think it's going to happen. I'm going to do a test. Oh, can't bring myself to press the button. No. 1 year remaining. It's not going to happen. Even if I sold shares now, someone else is going to buy it, and it's just going to devalue our company. And the only thing we have going for us is our resilience. That's pretty much it. I think the AI is pretty much settled in for the long haul now. I'm not seeing any new track being built. I'm not seeing any new stuff being sent. They've definitely not encroached on our area up here. Like I said, with 11 million, we could absolutely clean up here. We could buy that food plant out. I can bring stuff from here. We got the mining company and the ore. All I need to do is track over here and start sending stuff to this power plant that we bought about a decade ago. No, a century ago. Feels like, actually. Actually, it might have been a century. Yeah. It's possible. It's very doable. But this is the challenge. We are going to try and stick the landing. And win or fail, at least we've held our heads high and said, look, this is what we're doing. This is what we're doing. One thing I'm wishing for at the moment is a faster speed setting. There's only so much rambling I can do. And I don't want to edit things, like cut bits out, because then that sort of diminishes the idea in my mind about, look, this is, you're seeing it as it is. But yeah. Gearhead Tunneling Shield Patent. Right. What I need to do now is J Cup and JP Point Morgan. What I need them to do is spend 10 million on buying that thing. Read my lips says Prez promises tax cuts. Manufactured goods goes up. Okay. Not that that's changed things in the past. And they got it for 120 grand. Not really ideal. Who was that? Who actually got that? JP Point Morgan. Yeah, okay. Not that they're actually doing anything with it. There's the EMD announces a new engine. It's the F series. EMD. What's EMD? Sounds like a substance, but anyway, we'll click OK. And have another scoot about. Again, don't think it's going to matter. There's that paper mill there. You know what actually might be quite good? Shall I do a test? In Newark, they already have a double connection. What if I was to build a newspaper? So this might be a waste of money. But I'm just thinking that we've got 12 paper. Haha! Yes! It worked. So building a newspaper, already on this connection, has meant that they've started to transport stuff from there to there. Okay. Well, where else could I do that? Let's have a quick look around. The obvious one is Dover and Wilmington. Newspaper. Go over to Dover. And I'm looking at this number here, 12 paper. Is it just going to sit in a warehouse? Yes! It's sending it right. Okay. The game is afoot. Alright, we can change things now. We can definitely change things. We know, or at least I think I know, how the AI is operating. It's not expanding. But it will transport stuff it's already connected to. So we don't own that steel mill, which is a shame. That is a big shame. Atlantic City, we own the automobile factory there. Newark, we got, oh, it's a new 484 Golden State. It's just a brick of iron, isn't it, with some wheels on the bottom. I don't know what it does. It's just a thing, isn't it? Right, okay. So we've got the steel mill here. Imagine buying out. No, I was going to say, imagine buying out the. Okay. Steel from here, which we own. Automobile factory here. What if in Trenton I was to make a slaughterhouse under suspicion? Do you know what your children are eating? Okay, 12 steel. What if I was to buy out or build an automobile factory in Trenton? Let's have a quick look. Over to Newark. Looking at this number here. 12 big girders. Is it going to be sent? Is the AI going to tick that over? Well, that's a bust. Okay, right. Well, we tried. I was hopeful. Oh no, it's doing it. It's doing it. Yes. Okay. All right. So, this is going to be the longest Railroads video I've ever made, I think. But hopefully the most amusing. Right. Well, so we know that they're not building any more track. Even though there's basically, you know, free range of everything over here and over here. You know, Frederick, worst power plant ever. Hasn't generated a single watt of power. But, so I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to look around, and anywhere where there is an abundance of industry that they have track onto, I need to build the corresponding business, and they're doing build it. Okay. So, let's go from top left and we'll scan it down. Right, Harrisburg. Oh wait, that's us. Nothing happening over there. Frederick, power plant, useless. Baltimore, nothing. Washington, nope. Nothing here. Dover. We are sending stuff because we've just literally built that newspaper there. The fact that this has not had anything sent, it's got three platforms, is still amusing to me. Right. Over here. It's got steel. And it's not going anywhere. Build. Automobile factory. Have a zoom in. And there you go. Immediately being sent. There is one major downside doing this. Is that this is a game about transporting stuff. And we're not doing that. So every time we build an industry, every time we put a business down in an area, we give the AI an opportunity to make money by carrying stuff to it. We're only getting the residuals from owning the business. I mean, so far, it's okay. Weirdly. There is... There's another thing to think about now, isn't there? And that is, what am I doing with my life? No, the second question is that I'm looking at the money that we have. 15.5 million. There's the GP series. See, that's what I think. When I think of American locomotives, that's the sort of thing I think of. Are there massive resistor banks in there? For electric braking? Feels like I'm not making that up. Anyway, I'm looking at our money. 15.5 million, let's call it. And we are valued at 37 million. The next is Jay Cook on 38. Jay Gould's obviously been bought out by Morgan. Morgan is valued at 88 million. That's the sticky wicket, really. That's the one that we're not going to beat, I don't think. But, here's the question. If I was to buy out Jay Cook, which it's approaching that time, what do I do with them? Like, the challenge was to not buy any trains. And I might have said lay a track, and we've technically broken that by going down here, but I think in the spirit of the challenge it's still okay, because we laid the track but we didn't run anything on it. It was just to see if the AI would sort of heat up and do anything, which it hasn't, and still hasn't around here. But, buying out J, we literally have two options. Do we liquidate, or do we merge? If we liquidate, we gain a couple of million, probably. Even though they've got all of this track. And all this business. Got loads of it. That's Morgan there, but all this. All of this. Nope, that's Morgan as well. Okay. Not so much all this. They've got something. They've got more than us, so we can't criticise. But we liquidate, we get a bit of money. We merge, and we get all of the money from actually transporting stuff. But we didn't build it. Western Gold Rush fuels passenger travel. Yeah, we didn't build it. We simply bought it. That might be following the letter of the law rather than the spirit of the law. Of the challenge. Yeah, at this point, I'm not sure. I haven't made up my mind yet. But that would almost certainly put us in the running for a win. Although the game ends in 14 years. So, I'm not really sure what's going to happen. I think what's going to happen is we're going to run the clock out, and it's basically going to be, well, that's the end of the game. You didn't win, you didn't fail. You know, that's it. It feels like that might be the case. And there's all the automobiles that we're sending. The fact that they still haven't built that furniture plant is very telling. If nothing else, as we're heading towards the end of the game, we should probably start to wrap this stupidly long video up. So, original challenge. Don't buy any trains. Don't build any trains, don't assemble them. Technically, as I said, I think track, we said, yeah, let's not build it. I did this for an experiment to see if it would wake the AI up. It obviously hasn't. But I think we've followed the spirit of the challenge. I've lasted longer than I ever thought I would. There's a couple of takeaways. Firstly, you can sort of manipulate the AI into sending what you want to send from one place to another by buying out and building industries. There was paper, especially, that was not being sent from Dover, and by putting in a newspaper in Wilmington, it started doing it. Hasn't built any more track. As long as the connections, it just starts doing it. In fact, you can actually see it on the back of the train there. Okay, so that's a good takeaway. Secondly, and maybe more importantly, is this doable on a different map? And is it doable, I guess, now knowing what we know? I think so. I think it is. What would be probably of some benefit is to focus on the victory screens. Look at the victory screens and see what you can do without transporting stuff. So this one here, this we actually lucked out. It is definitely more luck than judgment. The robber barons, you need to be valued at 20 million and buy 50% stake in another railroad. That doesn't mean transporting anything. It's very doable. If I knew that earlier, going into this scenario, I may have done things differently. I'm not too sure what, because our hands are sort of tied with our options, really, aren't they? We just have to make money the way we can, which is by, well, as far as I can tell you anyway, is buying out businesses. I've just realised. So we've got nearly 21 million. That is our only infrastructure. This little bit of track in the quiet town of Harrisburg. We only own 40% of our company, yet we are valued at almost $1 million more than Jay Cook, who has all of this. All of it. And we own 30% of them. They own 30% of our business as well, to be fair. And we own 30% of them. 5 years to go. 5 years to go before whatever is the end. Whether it be win or loss, I'm happy we've attempted this. And I'm very encouraged as to what a replay could afford us. Yeah. I think with this sort of challenge, it is definitely a challenge. We've done ones in the past that are very much fun, but not sort of really against the grain of the game, whereas this one is definitely that. We're definitely on a, you know, it's an exploit and it's a bug and it's a different way of playing rather than, you know, oh, you can't build bridges type of challenge. Wonder why the Wilmington newspaper is literally not in Wilmington. 22.5 million. 25.5 million to buy out Jay. 2 years remaining. Yes. The annals of time. Time ticks away. Yep. Not long now. Not long now. There is 3 paper in Trenton, but we do own the Newark newspaper. There it is. Yeah, maybe that's one thing I should have done earlier, is buy out the industries. Where there was lots of paper and such, I think there was 2 places. Might have even been 3. There's definitely 2. And then 1 for ore. Maybe it would be better. Well, it actually was Newark in general, was the steel mill newspaper. Oh. Okay. So, upon your retirement, you embark on a new career as mayor. Net worth is 53. Objective score is 2, because we only got 2 of them. Prestige is 11. Total score 66. You go from hobo up to president. That is the end screen. It's not hobo. In fact, it's more than mid-table. Although Steamboat Captain would probably be my preference rather than mayor. Actually, with the one below it, railroad conductor would be even better. Actually, I'm not going to keep reading them. You're up on what words are. Anyway, that's been a bit of railroads, and we didn't get bought out, and we didn't go bankrupt. Alright. That was different. I don't know if it was good different or bad different or just long, but that's been a bit of railroads. Let me know what you think in the comments. It has been the most challenging challenge I've ever done in the game, and I truly believe one of the most interesting. I think it's possible to get a win off that, and I'm very, very excited for redemption. If you would want to see that attempt, then let me know in the comments. I can't obviously ever promise a win, but one will try one's best. Either way, that's been a bit of railroads. Let me know in the comments what you think, and as always, we will go from there. Hope you have enjoyed it. Thanks very much for watching. Take care, and generic partings.